Now, the first thing I'm noticing here are the whistle sounds. They are almost impossible for the brain to ignore. They're high-pitched, they're agitating, and they can lead to sensory overload. So already, with the loudness and the volume of these whistles, communication is going to get disrupted. Tensions are already going to be heightened just by that alone. So right here, you can see Alex Pretti has his arm around this woman. And then you can see the Border Patrol agent just push this one very hard. Now, I want you to keep this in mind. So he sees her, she's standing still, and he pushes her hard. Now, this is something I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but this shows how much aggression is already building up in this situation. As you can see, she's not doing anything particularly confrontational at this point. Now, if you can see, he actually walked out of his way to push her over. Watch the Border Patrol agent right here.
What is wrong with you?
He spots her. As she continues to talk, he starts stepping closer, and he pushes her with all of the force he's got. Now, I want you to keep in mind, from a law enforcement perspective, what a bad idea this is. Because if they're concerned that people are armed, if this was someone that was armed, that he was afraid could be armed and fatally shoot him or something like that, this would be the dumbest thing you could do. Which would be to create a tremendous amount of space between you and a suspect, or you and someone that you think could hurt you. Now, the person that he just pushed over was not Alex Pretti. But the point is that this is not a safe activity for law enforcement to do. This is not advisable for law enforcement to just push somebody over. If they need to have some sort of intervention, if they're going to arrest somebody, they need to do it in a way that keeps them safe. This is not suggesting that they are acting in the safest manner possible.
What's wrong with you?
See, steps out of his way, just absolutely lunges and pushes her over. So after she's fallen over, now you can see Alex Pretti turn and starts to confront this officer. Now, the agent pulls out pepper spray or some sort of non-lethal spray. You can see he's got one hand up in a defensive posture. Alex Pretti has his head turned to the right. He's trying to avoid now. And as you can see, the officer continued to spray him in the face. So it wasn't one spray and then back up or do something in order to make the situation safer. This agent, as he continues to try to spray him in the face as much as possible, is adding to the chaos of this situation. See, he's following him and continuing to spray him. Alex Pretti had his arm up in a defensive posture. He reached down. I presume he's trying to help her up right here. And then the Border Patrol agent pushes Alex Pretti. So that's one push. Spraying. Now a second push. So this Border Patrol agent is clearly very agitated right here. He's being confrontational. He's going out of his way to make things disruptive. This is not somebody who's trying to de-escalate. This is someone who is actively escalating the situation very, very quickly. All right, let's go back and look at this a little bit more. So he's being sprayed right there. He's trying to get away from it. He gets pushed. Now the woman that was pushed to the ground, she's standing up. She appears, I don't know if she's reaching for the Border Patrol agent or if she's trying to block the spray from coming at her, but you do see her arms go up. Now he's continuing to spray. Now this is confusing right here. It's very, very hard to see. It confused me a little bit the first time I saw it. You can see Alex Pretti right here grabbing the woman that had been pushed to the ground. Now, I don't know if it's that he can't see and he thinks this is a Border Patrol agent. I don't know if he's trying to hold on so they can't pull him off. It's unclear what he's trying to do. But it almost appears that he's holding her aggressively, but I don't really think that that's his intent at this point. This is not a matter of defending him. It just doesn't really make any sense behaviorally in the context of what we've seen. See, she's getting dragged a little bit right here. He's continuing to hold on to her. And now all of the Border Patrol agents are pulling him down. At this point, I want you to think about what specifically has he done to get himself pulled over in this situation. The Border Patrol agent that now pushed somebody, sprayed somebody else in the face, pushed him again, is now pulling him off of her. He's pulling him off the ground. At this point, Alex Pretti has literally not done anything else. He has not been violent, hasn't pushed anybody. We can't hear what he's saying. Maybe he's saying something that's agitating them, but we're not seeing any physical behavior from him at this point that has been threatening towards police at all. Or threatening towards Border Patrol, sorry. I'm going to mute the sound right here so you can just focus on the visuals. I want you to watch this again. So at this point, as you can see, this Border Patrol agent right here is looking for a fight. He seems very angry. I talked about the whistles. I talked about other elements. I don't know why he's so agitated, but he is aggressively pursuing these protesters. This is the Border Patrol agent we want to keep an eye on because this is the one that essentially instigated this issue. You can see he's wearing jeans and this is the color of his top. Just keep an eye on him. So as you can see, he's holding the pepper spray still, and it looks like he's hitting him in the face. It looks like he's swinging down and hitting Alex Pretti in the face. See, he's striking him with his pepper spray right now. Now we're going to go and look at some different people in this video, but I want you to keep in mind, this is somebody who instigated this. He started it. Now Alex Pretti is down, presumably unable to reach anything, even though he seems to be struggling right now, and he's striking him in the face with a pepper spray bottle or whatever this non-lethal agent is. Now I want you to be paying attention to the audio right here. So that's where you heard gun. And then you can see that one agent going into action. You can see him drawing his gun immediately. Now I'm going to show you precisely what happened and why I think the shooting occurred. You're going to have to watch very closely. We're going to watch this over and over again, but I want you to pay very close attention.
Oh,
First thing I want you to pay attention to is the man in the gray jacket right here that just walked into frame.
wrong with you? Honestly.
You see him reaching down. Now I believe that he's grabbing Alex Pretti's ankle right here. Now I'm not sure if he was looking to see if he had a firearm on him right there, or if he was trying to help hold him down. Now I want you to pay very close attention to the man in the gray jacket. You see him remove the gun from Alex Pretti's pants. Right there. Let's watch this again a couple of times. He's going for it and then pulls the gun out. Right there. The second he pulled the gun out, you heard somebody yell gun. Now, we're going to have to go back so that you can understand why this happened the way it did and what led to a shooting. Now, what's stranger, though, is the behavior of the man who pulled the gun out. Now, the man in the gray jacket, he didn't say, I've disarmed him. He didn't do anything to prevent that. You literally see him turn around and run the other direction. Now, I'm going to show you that footage in a second. Before we get to that, though, I want you to watch the officer in the jeans. Now, right now, he's shuffling around a little bit. The ice is probably slippery. He doesn't have much authority right here. This is not somebody who's standing confidently, who seems to have an appraisal of what's going on, who seems calm. This is someone who seems a little bit scattered right here. Now, he's leaning over. He's observing all of the chaos. Now, keep in mind, the officer in the gray jacket right now is in the process of obtaining the gun. He has probably got his hand on it right at this moment. That right there is precisely when the gun left Alex Pretti's possession. Now, you hear this man yell, gun, gun, gun. I do believe the man in the jeans is the one that yelled gun, gun, gun. I'm not positive of that. I think that he was, because I think that as he saw the gun getting removed by the officer in the gray jacket, he just saw a gun and started yelling gun, 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 and drew his own. Watch this again right here. That was the first time we heard the word gun yelled. I know it's really hard to hear this, but the word gun was just yelled. Now this officer in the jeans has his hand on his own gun, and he's getting ready to draw. But I believe he's the one that yelled gun. Now he's aiming his gun directly at Alex Pretti. Now keep in mind, Alex Pretti, this is Alex Pretti's back that's being aimed at right here. Alex Pretti's arms, I believe, are in front of him. And if you watch the man in the gray jacket, he's getting ready to turn around and go the other direction. Now watch the legs of the officer holding his gun. I'm going to go back. I want you to just pay attention to his legs. You saw him shuffling from the left to the right. You see the way he's holding his arms. This is a panic response. This is not the response of a confident officer who believes he's necessarily making the right decision. He's panicking right now from what I can see. Now this other officer has literally pulled the gun out, and that's as soon as he starts aiming the gun is no longer present. It is no longer visible, and that's when he aims the gun at him. Now pay attention to the officer in the gray jacket right here. I want to show you the immediate response once he gets a hold of the gun. So right there, this is the point where he has the gun. The shooting has now started right here, and he is literally running away and not looking back. Now at this point, when he took the firearm, as far as I can tell, because we couldn't hear it, he didn't announce to everybody else that he had the firearm, that the man had been disarmed. And then you could argue, well, maybe he thought he had a second firearm. Maybe he thought he had one somewhere else. It would be a really bad idea to turn your back on someone if you believe that they are armed and dangerous still. So this I find peculiar. His reaction to this, the fact that he decided to run from this situation without announcing that he had the gun, that the man had been disarmed, that Alex Pretti was no longer armed, I find strange. Let's watch this one last time. Now, you may be wondering whether or not this officer believed there was actually a credible threat. Based on how panicked he seemed, it seems very possible that he genuinely believed there was a threat. Now, did it make sense, considering the fact that Alex Pretti would not be able to reach behind his back like that in the position he was in? No, it wouldn't make sense. That would be bad judgment. But it's possible that he may even say he remembers him reaching for a gun. He remembers seeing it. because human memory is really, really bad. That's part of the reason I always go back and show the same thing over and over again so that people can actually see what I'm talking about. You don't have to take my word for it. You can watch for yourself. So any of these officers' accounts is possibly going to be tainted by their expectations. Perceptions can be tainted by that. So hopefully, if this goes anywhere, if there is any sort of legal pursuit, they're able to use objective footage like what we have here. Because nobody is going to have a first-hand account that is going to be fully accurate, because in heightened situations like this, perception becomes very, very distorted. All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand some of the behavior, body language, and psychology that led up to this unbelievable tragedy. My goal in this video is to help you see this as objectively as possible, to look at the details that matter, to help you understand the situation. Because these situations are so emotional, it can be very difficult to be objective about it. But hopefully going over all of these details has helped you get some clarity on what actually happened in this situation. If you have any thoughts about this, or if there's anything else you want to analyze, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.